Hey guys, welcome to another video here on the AviationPro channel. Now I've had a lot of complaints on my last VATSIM video and multiple VATSIM videos that the audio quality on the VATSIM network is bad. And indeed that's true. I mean, I couldn't agree more. It's not of that great quality, and especially if you're new to the VATSIM network, it's very hard to understand controllers. On the other hand, I don't really like the quality of other networks where the quality of the radios is somehow too clear, you know? You hear a lot of echo in the background, and you can really hear that it's TeamSpeak instead of a VHF radio. So yes, it's a bit of a challenge to get used to the radio quality. In the real world, VHF radios are a lot clearer, but in order to help you a little bit, I'm going to give you 8 tips that will help you to deal with this poor quality of the radios on the VATSIM network. Now the first tip is to split the audio of your flight simulator sounds and your ATC. Okay, it's very important and very convenient. And what I mean by splitting is basically letting all the sounds of the engines, of the cockpit, of the environment, every sound of Flight Simulator run through your speakers, and then buy a headset, for using the ATC audio. You can easily set the ATC audio to play through your headset, with any kind of pilot client, like here with vPilot. You can just select your headset as an output device. So why is this convenient? Well, if you're already having to deal with a bad audio quality of the radios, it's very hard to understand the controllers by having to pick out all that audio from the ATC amidst all these engine sounds, the cockpit sounds, the wind of the cockpit. It's just it makes it more difficult. And by using a headset, you have the ATC audio on your ears, which is a more direct way. It's maybe easier to understand, and you can adjust the volume of the controllers as well, because of course when flying on a VATSIM network, different controllers might have different audio levels. So to me that's just much easier. Of course you could also use a separate speaker maybe, but I prefer to use a headset, and by having it directly on my ears I can understand controllers much better. Tip number 2 is about buying a proper headset. Now what do I mean with a proper headset? Do we really need a Bose headset with supreme quality? No, of course not. I mean, I'll show you mine. You've probably seen this one in my VATSIM videos. It's a Logitech USB headset, about $25. The quality of the audio is fine. The microphone is of not that great quality, but fine enough for VATSIM flights or Skype calls, for example. And that's really the point, I mean, you don't want a crappy headset which breaks down in a few years. You also want to make sure that your headset has a volume button so you can control the volume of the ATC audio whenever you want to. So make sure you get yourself a good headset. Logitech USB headsets are generally very good and for a low price, and it will really help you to enhance your flight sim experience and to understand the controllers better. Tip number 3, guys, wearing a headset is a task on its own. You can buy a good headset, but make sure you use it. And this is a message for all pilots and all controllers on the VATSIM network. Okay, you have to also do your bit to contribute to a better audio quality. I mean, that will help a lot. So make sure you check your microphone first of all. There are different types of microphones. The ones without a pop filter or this this furry thing on the microphone, and the ones with this kind of a pop filter on it. Now this one doesn't have a pop filter, so when you put it onto your ears, you want to make sure that this thing is not in in the direct airflow of your mouth. Make sure it's aside of you. If you have a microphone with a pop filter, you can easily and safely put that thing closer to your mouth. But if I talk like this with this headset, there's going to be a lot of distortion, there's going to be a lot of wind in the microphone, and it really, is not very pretty for controllers and for fellow pilots. So make sure you check your microphone. If it has one without a pop filter, it's usually designed to be weared along, your cheek, instead of directly in front of your mouth where a lot of wind is, especially with the P's and the F's. That it really makes it harder for people to understand you over the radios. So make sure you wear and use your headset properly. Now, tip number 4 is all about testing your microphone, and this comes down to contributing to a good quality. So I hear a lot of controllers who indeed speak directly into the microphone, or they configure their microphone way too loud in the Windows audio settings. I mean, that's not very handy. So make sure you check your microphone. I mean, you can use the voice recorder of Windows to quickly check if it sounds alright. If it doesn't sound alright, go to the audio settings. You might have to adjust the volume. You might have to wear your microphone further away from your mouth or closer to your mouth if necessary. These are all kinds of things that you have to take care of and make sure that that they work. Because if you're a controller, for example, and if you've been talking into your microphone in the wrong way for many months, at some point you don't realize it. So make sure you test your microphone, even do it frequently, so what you sound like over the network, and in that way you can adjust if necessary. So please make sure you test your microphone, and also your audio speakers, of course, but mainly your microphone. Because if you can be a good pilot, and if you can contribute to the network by providing a good audio quality yourself, that's already a +1, because the more pilots use their headsets properly, the better it becomes. And the 5th tip that I want to give you is that if you're new to the VATSIM network, you should be flying to regions where the audio quality is generally good. Now you can test that by watching YouTube videos. For example, my VATSIM flights. You may remember my last shared cockpit flight from Frankfurt to Budapest. The 8C in Germany was very good, and the 8C quality was very bad in Budapest, the audio quality. So, you can kind of determine which regions will be having controllers which are better to understand. You may even start to recognize some names on the VATSIM network. Okay, yes, I know that's a controller that I can really understand. So making sure you fly in and out of these regions first, also to airports you're familiar with, so that you don't have to worry too much about the audio quality. And then later on, once you're more adjusted to communicating over the radios on the VATSIM network, you should explore those other regions where the quality is not that good that often, and then you can kind of fill in the gaps when necessary. The 6th tip is to disable VHF simulation. Now, every pilot client that we use, mainly the pilot client that almost everyone uses now, vPilot, they have a little tick box that allows you to disable or enable VHF simulation. Now, this VHF simulation is kind of switching between kind of a VHF radio audio to kind of a TeamSpeak audio quality. Now, I prefer to have the VHF simulation enabled. I kind of like it. I kind of, it gives a radio feeling. But if you don't like it, it might help to disable that so that you understand the audio quality better. So make sure you test around with that. It might be a little bit more clear when you disable VHF simulation. The 7th tip is to don't be afraid to tell fellow pilots or fellow controllers about their radio quality. I mean, if you really cannot understand a controller, you can say, I rate you 2 out of 5 or 1 out of 5 even. Or, after you've landed at the airport, you can say, hey, your microphone quality was really bad. Can you please take a look at it? But because there might be a chance that the controller is not using his or her microphone properly, or that the settings are just not all right, don't be afraid to say that. I mean, it's important that you can all understand the controllers, and again, it contributes to a better quality overall on the network. And the final tip number 8, is to don't be afraid to ask via text. Okay, it can always happen that you still don't understand the controller. Don't be afraid to use text to get the correct message from the controller, and in that way you can quickly solve the problem. Of course, it's not something that you want to use often, so it's really a last resort, but if it's necessary, just use text. Okay, it's not a big deal. It can be just a flight level that you want to know, or a squawk code that you want to know. That happens quite frequently on VATSIM network, so don't be afraid to use that. But again, remember all the previous 7 tips. Those are probably the most important regarding, you know, the general audio quality of the VATSIM network. So I hope these tips have helped you out a little bit. Thanks for watching this video on the AviationPro channel. You can expect a lot more videos about VATSIM on this channel soon. Make sure you check out my Patreon page on patreon.com/AviationPro, where you can support the AviationPro channel. And there's also a new reward tier where you can, if you want to, if you donate that amount, you're eligible to select what kind of topic you want to be covered in a next VATSIM video, or a general video, or even pick the next destination or arrival airport for the next VATSIM full flight. So make sure you check that out. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are in the description below. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.